I have to cough, I will move out.
It's okay.
So if I move,
The technician will edit out
yeah, I'm sure
the
he
cough.
will.
Yeah, well, good morning, everybody. Doing some things different, trying filming at 9 this summer instead of 5 and 6. Maybe I look better at 9 than I do at 5 or whatever else, and trying to do it that way. It also gives me a crack at talking a couple times before I feel like it's really flowing well. So you guys always get a polished version of me. 6 at p.m., it's perfect. And so if you want to see it get better through the day, come back in the evening with Mac. But it's good to be back talking of this do's and don'ts of summer. Last week, a couple of phrases that stood out talking about physical needs, the pitfalls and priorities, to know what those are so that you don't end up falling into a pitfall and have something get away from you as far as your physical needs go. This week, we shift a little bit into the mental do's and don'ts because they are just as important and just as powerful if they're used well or if they're lost or something else. So I was writing on Monday about the first one in regards to positive feedback that you get. Like, people are not inclined to say thank you when they get a positive feedback. It's a skill you have to train yourself for. But that's one of the things to work on this week, one of the things to work on this summer. Even if you said, yeah, I did a good job, because that's still not prideful or arrogant or conceited, but you might need to increase that ability to acknowledge and follow through on things that you were really proud of or you did well or it worked out well. Don't run away from positive feedback. They are kind of infrequent, and when you encounter one, hold on to it. The other version is condemnation, negative thoughts in our own head. And the dynamic that is most harmful, I think, is when people learn something, say in 2026, and they look back and assess themselves any month, year, decade previously, and they start to really, really condemn themselves for what they did. The benefit of the doubt has to exist. Every one of us woke up this morning and said, we're going to be as wise as we can be today, correct? No one said, I'm going to make the foolish decision I can. Maybe there's some teenage boys that will do that, but necessarily most of us every morning are trying to do the best we can. We all learn something that down the road we're like, ugh, if I had known that, that'd have been really helpful a while ago. So just let it sit there. Don't go back and start to condemn yourself. But that sometimes is what lives between people's ears, and it's the worst condemnation that can be experienced. If someone's telling that to you, usually ignore them, walk away, set up boundaries, don't talk to them anymore. But when it's in your own head, it gets really challenging. So that's what we're focusing on this week. I think if you can control accepting positive feedback and letting go of negative condemnation, your summer is going to be much more fulfilling as we go forward. So keep practicing those things. Last week was like, hey, make sure your sleep is good. It's been some really nice nights, so make sure your alcohol's okay or whatever your priorities and pitfalls are. This week is about the thoughts going through your head. Accept a positive compliment. Don't run from it. Don't dismiss it. Don't just sit in silence, but say something about it, and I think it'll get easier. So as I was thinking about June and positive comments, came across just a nice website where it was accumulating good statements about June. And I thought, well, that's a good one since we were all excited. Today is a nice shower to green things up once again. But here are some comments. I don't know all these authors, maybe you do, but here's an example. Patience Strong said, June is a love song written by nature. Here's one that Bill Watterson, probably as an adult, but maybe he's thinking back as a kid. It's a cruel season that makes you get ready for bed while it's light out. Tough when the sun is out till 9:30. In June, as many as a dozen species may burst their buds on a single day. No man can heed all of these anniversaries. No man can ignore all of them, although Leopold said that. Right? There's always a day I think I appreciate, and everyone does, right? Suddenly when you see the canopies of trees over the road are now all green, it just seems to happen instantaneously, but it's a wonderful recognition. Abba Wolfson said, and since all this loveliness cannot be heaven, I know in my heart it's June. So thinking of all the wonderful flowers and plants that are getting green and flowering, everything else. Summer afternoon, to me these have always been the two most beautiful words in the English language, said Henry James. So it's a good example of just some things that you think of restful times or positive times, or you're not rushed and stepping out of the routine. Just some examples of good things. Maybe you all have your own that you love about this month, but it leads us into our question. Just kind of saying, last week or since June started, 10 days, has there been a positive thought you've had about June that really puts a smile on your face and you've been grateful for already this month or this early start to summer? Any real positive thoughts stand out over the last week for you?
I just told my son-in-law that I love the children. Summer rain showers.
There you go.
Always better than snow.
Yeah. Summer rain showers. Very, very good. Yeah. Good to sleep too for a nap. Good to enjoy and sit inside and hear it hitting all the leaves of everything. Very restful. Others?
We had dinner outside. Just being able to have dinner outside.
Yeah. Dinner outside. Yeah. Pleasant. Anybody else? Yeah.
I got to make 3 rhubarb pies already, and I love the fact that you just walk outside and cut the rhubarb.
Yeah. Rhubarb pies already. That's good.
One bit too fast, but really perfect.
I like it always comes back to food. I've been remarking today that I've enjoyed many good brats already this summer and some really good pulled pork barbecue at some grad parties. Really good stuff. So, but it puts a smile on my face. Whatever it is for you that puts a smile on your face, it's like those are things to hold on to. And if someone compliments you for something, remember, let that put a smile on your face too as you go. But here's the inverse one. Has there been a thought that's already encountered itself already in June? You're like, oh, gives you shivers, you don't like it, it discourages you a bit. Any examples like that? The cherry picked ones this morning at 5 a.m. were hot and humid already at the first workout of the day. So that's one example of something that kind of impresses itself. But any others that people have encountered?
Goes way too fast. We're already at June 10th.
Goes way too fast, yeah. Yeah. Keeping up with weeds. Yeah. Those beautiful gardens don't just happen. That's right. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to get there just yet. So it gets really hot really fast. There's things to think about. Those are a lot of those about our activities or the weather related. But recognize there's lots of family get-togethers, right? Or barbecues or holidays coming up. So be prepared for those because some of your family members may not have changed this year and they're still going to uncork a doozy when they have a conversation with you. So pay attention to it, be ready for it, understand what's coming, and be gracious to yourself, most of all as it goes forward. So some final comments of why these do's and don'ts for mental part are important. I think that the positive thoughts are kind of like tiny slippery things that are hard to grab onto. The negative thoughts are like someone just came in and dumped a cement pylon next to you. It's hard to ignore these. You trip in them, they're always there, you always see them. But those positive thoughts, it's like a slippery bar of soap, it's hard to hold on to. But I want people to get better at that because the better you can get at remembering the positive thoughts, it'll help you balance out the negative ones that can exist. I hinted at this earlier. Maybe the most condemnation exists in your own head. So if that's an issue, it's a good summer to work on it. You have a lot of people that support you at the gym, or Bill and I, or maybe some other family members. If you can balance out, acknowledge some of those negative thoughts, maybe they get less, and you have a chance to not have them be so loud internally and prevent you from having fulfillment and satisfaction. And then finally, I think when we talk about rest and relaxation, those nice evenings to sit outside perhaps or enjoy things, I think the advantage of that is life slows down. And when people can slow down at the course of a day, there's a chance for reflection. And it's in that reflection where these assignments might be really helpful. A chance to slow down and think, what was a good thing I did today? What was a good thing I heard today that maybe I didn't quite grab onto? Maybe it's a chance to do the same for somebody else. It's a good way to practice that is to extend that feedback to somebody else because you'll get easier at accepting it yourself. So be sure to slow down these days, even if your weekends are full already or you don't have many open. But in the course of a day, maybe there's an hour in the morning, an hour at night that could just be about you and what you're thinking about throughout the day. So 2 weeks left. We have emotions and we have relationships still to go in June. So we'll talk about do's and don'ts for emotions, do's and don'ts for relationships to wrap up the month. But it's been good so far to talk about it. So continue to practice. But this week, I'm just as passionate about this week as last. So hopefully you're sleeping well and watching what you're putting in your body. But this week, pay attention to what's in here and what you're hearing, what you're listening to, and it will go better. All right. Have a great workout and a good week. I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Will and Henry, Lynn, Cindy, you will all be in the rig. There should be a
shoulder strap band for you. Then you need